Welcome our channel. Let's dive into action, fantasy movie together. Just a head up, this video contains spoilers. Title: The Old Guard. Genre: action, fantasy. Runtime: 125 minutes. Director: Gina Prince Bythewood. Writer: Greg Rucka, based on the comic book. The film opens with a scene showing 4 wounded warriors lying motionless on the ground. We hear the voice of Andromache of Scythia, known as Andy, Charlize Theron, narrating about the concept of immortality and her experience of living for thousands of years. She explains that along with her team, known as the Old Guard, they have secretly protected humanity throughout history. The team consists of Andy, the leader, Booker, Matthias Schoenaerts, Joe, Marwan Kenzari, and Nikki, Luca Marinelli. Each of these members possesses rapid healing abilities and immortality, allowing them to survive various injuries and deaths. The team is contacted by Copley, Chiwetel Ejiofor, a former CIA operative, who asks for their help in rescuing hostages from a terrorist group in South Sudan. Despite initial doubts, the team agrees to take on the mission. When they arrive at the location, they quickly realize it is a trap. Enemy forces ambush them, shooting them down in a hail of bullets. After a few moments, their wounds miraculously heal, and they rise, easily defeating their attackers. Meanwhile, one of the attackers secretly records the entire event. The team realizes they have been betrayed by Copley. Simultaneously, in Afghanistan, a Marine named Niall Freeman, Kiki Lane, is killed during a military operation when she is fatally wounded in the neck. Miraculously, her wound heals, and she comes back to life. Confused and shocked by what has happened, Niall distances herself from her fellow soldiers. Meanwhile, Andy, who dreams of Niall, realizes that she is a new immortal. Andy decides to travel to Afghanistan to find her. Andy travels to Afghanistan and locates Niall. She kidnaps Niall and introduces her to the rest of the team. Niall is initially shocked and scared but gradually learns about the nature of her immortality and the history of the Old Guard with the help of Andy and the other members. Andy explains to Niall the heavy and painful responsibilities of the Immortals and how they have protected humanity throughout history. She also shows Niall how to use her powers and prepares her for the challenges ahead. The team decides to track down Copley to find out why he betrayed them. They head to his office in Paris, where they find documents and evidence of Copley's efforts to expose their immortality. They discover that Copley is working for Stephen Merrick, Harry Melling, the CEO of a major pharmaceutical company. Merrick intends to uncover the secret of the Immortals' immortality and use it to develop life-extending drugs and make a fortune. Meanwhile, Merrick's forces, led by Keen, Joe Brad, attack the team. In a fierce battle, the team manages to defeat the mercenaries, but Booker is injured, and they are forced to retreat. The team decides to pursue Merrick and stop him. They infiltrate Merrick's hideout in London, but during this mission, Booker betrays them. Tired and desperate from his immortal life, he has made a deal with Merrick, offering to help capture the Immortals and unlock their secret in exchange for ending his own immortality. Meanwhile, Andy is injured in a fight and realizes that her immortality is fading, and she is no longer healing rapidly. She is captured by Merrick's forces and taken to his lab. In Merrick's lab, Andy is subjected to experiments as Merrick tries to unlock the secret of her immortality. Meanwhile, the team decides to attack the lab and rescue Andy. Niall, who has now fully realized her nature and responsibilities, decides to lead the team. With the help of Joe and Nikki, they infiltrate the lab and face Merrick's forces. After a tough battle, they manage to rescue Andy and capture Merrick. In the end, Niall uses her powers to throw Merrick out of the building, killing him. After escaping the lab, the team retreats to a safe house to regroup. Andy, weakened by the loss of her immortality, is in a vulnerable state. Booker, feeling remorseful for his betrayal, asks for forgiveness from the rest of the group. Andy and the others, after long discussions about Booker's betrayal and the importance of trust among the Immortals, decide to forgive him but sentence him to a 100-year exile. Andy tells Booker that he needs to learn from his betrayal and understand that immortality is not just about surviving but about protecting humanity and doing the right thing. The film concludes with Andy and Niall talking about the future. Andy tells Niall that it is now time for her to take on a leadership role and continue protecting humanity. In the final scene, Gwyn, Veronica No, another immortal whom Andy thought was dead, appears in Paris and approaches Booker. This scene hints that their story is far from over and that new threats are on the horizon. The Old Guard is a thrilling and profound film that not only showcases intense action sequences and battles but also delves into themes like immortality, sacrifice, and ethical dilemmas. This movie invites viewers to reflect on the meaning of eternal life and its impact on humanity and personal values. Thanks for your support. Don't forget to subscribe.